Hello, 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 everyone. I'm Trina Boyd. I'm back with another episode of Coffee and Business Talk on my podcast. Hello to everyone on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. So, I'm so excited today because I am going to be talking to you about 3 mistakes that you are currently making in your business as it relates to grant writing. So I'm going to talk about 3 mistakes that are causing you not to win grants that you are making currently when you are writing grants. And I'm just going to get right into it. So hopefully you got your coffee or your tea or whatever you got. And we're going to get right into it. All right. So what is the first mistake that you are making, right? What is the first mistake that you are making as it pertains to grant writing, as it pertains to you not being able to win that grant? The first mistake you're making is not even applying, right? Not even applying for grants. So within the past 5 years, there have been corporations, banks, your county, your local government, they are now giving out grants for your for-profit business. That is correct. There are actually legitimate grants that I have helped women win through websites like Hello Alice, Spectrum, through for veterans. I have helped women win these grants. So the first mistake that you're making is not applying, right? You're not applying, you don't know about them. So that's the first mistake that you're making is not applying for these grants. Even knowing, so like for example, one of the things I help women win their first grant. And one of the things that I offer currently is a webinar. And inside of that webinar, I teach the women step by step on how to structure their grant, where to go to apply for these grants, right? These are the different things that I'm teaching them. This is how they become successful with winning these grants. But one of the things I noticed is that, and this is just something that I just noticed, is that 80% of those women won't even apply for it, you know? So that's the first mistake is not applying for them. If you don't know about it, of course, can't apply, right? So that's another thing. So you're just being aware. One of the things I do post, so make sure you are following this particular podcast or YouTube, is that I post grants every week that you can actually apply for. So I make you aware of them, the amount that they are, when they close, those type of things. You can go to my shorts right now and find several grants that you can probably apply for today. So that's the first mistake is actually not applying for those grants. And then of course that's like a twofold of not being aware. So let me take a sip of my coffee, y'all. So what's the second mistake that you're making? Let's just say you know about grants, you know, you applied, you may haven't even applied for grants, right? So the second mistake that you're making is not having a professional email address, okay? Not having a professional email address. And I want to continue to say this is because this is so important to have that. You cannot, and I would not, if I was you as a professional business owner, is not look professional and have a Gmail. You got to have a professional email. So what is a professional email? A professional email is something like hello at your business name or your business domain. Your domain is your website where people go to. It's like a business address online. So my domain is womenempowerinc.com. Women Empower. So it's www.womenempowerinc.com. So that's my website for my organization. Okay, so your domain will be www dot whatever your business name or whatever your domain name that you decide for that to be .com, right? So that's your domain. So it'll be hello at your domain name.com. So for example, just to give you some professional emails that I have. So I have hello at womenempowerinc.com. Also have hello at babysittersofcharlotte.com. Also have hello at, you see that? So it's not like, I do have like these regular Gmails, but I don't use them in professional settings. I only use them for personal uses, right? So you don't have to be hello, it can be your name. One of my email addresses is Trina Boyd at womenempowerinc.com. So that's a professional email. So it can be Trina at Women Empower, whatever. That's a professional email. One of the things I tell people, like, even if you're trying to do something with the chamber, let's just say you're trying to register for an event with the chamber. Like, one of the things I noticed with the chamber is that you have to have a professional email. They won't let you even register for an event if you have like a Gmail. Okay. So make sure you have um, that professional email, making sure that you start applying. Right. These are things that are really, really important with you getting approved for grants. The third mistake that you are currently making, let's just say you're in the stage where you're actually applying for grants, right? Let's just say you're applying and you just haven't won any grants. So you could be there. So the mistake that you could be making is the wording. So one of the things that a lot of people struggle with, and a lot of women struggle with after asking them, why are you taking this webinar or why are you taking this class or whatever, they say it's wording. That was like the number top response with writing a grant, because you of course have to make sure it's worded right. You might have to make sure your language is clear when you are submitting that particular grant to that grant funder. You have to make sure your wording is on point, removing the errors. So one of the things I teach in my webinars and in my challenges is that you have to have your wording on point. And guess what? I teach you how to do that. I teach you how to make sure your wording is on point. I also teach you how you can also have the wording, like how you normally would talk. But these are things that you have to have when you are writing grants. You want to make sure they clearly understand you. You want to make sure you're clearly understanding what they're saying. Because a lot of times, I'm not going to say a lot of times because I don't want to speak that, right? But sometimes it is where a question may pop up on that grant application, right? That question is like, okay, what are they trying to tell me? And it's like, and a lot of time, and I've seen it where it's a twofold question. So which one do I ask? So when you see that twofold question, it's like, okay, if it's a twofold question, then you can answer either or, because you're still answering the question, because they're just asking it differently for you to be able to understand that question. So that's why they ask it that way. But I teach you how to answer those questions, being able to answer those questions and being able to word those things to where it will be successful. So that's what I have for you. Make sure, I want to invite you all out to my grant. It's not a grand open. It's a book release. I am writing a book. I already wrote a book before, but I am writing a book, y'all. So I'm so excited for this book that I'm writing. It's going to be able to help entrepreneurs learn how to write grants step by step, where to look for those grants, and go over pretty much these 3 mistakes and some, of course, on how you can become successful with, winning your first grant. So I will be inviting you to the grand opening. So make sure you look out for links. I may post, depending on when I post this video, it may be on this particular link. On this video. But if not, make sure you check the descriptions on the video to know when my book release. So I do want to kind of go into the book release. So the book release is actually going to be hybrid. So you can come in person or it's going to be virtual. So either way, I want to personally invite you. You are the first to know about this because this is my first time announcing it. Besides outside of my husband. But make sure you register it's free for you to come to the book release, the book launch, or whatever you want to call it. But just to kind of recap on what we talked about the 3 mistakes that you could be making is not even applying for grants, right? That's the first mistake. The second mistake is not having that professional email address. Got to have a professional email. You want to look professional, got to have that professional email address. And then make sure you register for my book release. And then the third mistake that you are making, not having a professional email address, right? You don't have the professional email address. and then also not applying. You got to be applying to these grants, y'all. And then the biggest mistake and the biggest challenge I see women, just to recap, is the wording. Got to have that wording right, y'all. So thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube, and I will talk to y'all soon.